art of levitation in ancient times. How did they know how to do this? There are numerous ancient structures around the world, such as the Great Pyramid of Giza, and interestingly, the process of their construction is inexplicable. How does levitation in ancient times, how was levitation done? How could it be possible that ancient civilizations were aware of the mystery of levitation? And they applied this secret in order to construct these structures. This mysterious technology has lost its existence over the period of time, and there is a high probability that this technique is responsible for the reaction of mind-blowing structures to the civilizations like the Egyptians, the Olmec, the pre-Inca, the Inca, even the Hindus, decipher the secrets of levitation and other advanced technologies which in today's world are treated as mythological. The terrific structures such as the Tiwanaku pyramids of Giza Plateau, Pumapunku, etc., that are present on this planet could be the result of this particular technology. Huge stone blocks that weighed hundreds of tons were used to build these structures, and surprisingly, even modern-day technologies would have faced enormous difficulty in handling the size and weight of these blocks. When the ancient civilizations could have used similar bricks and obtained the same effect, then what led them to use these blocks? Did they possess the knowledge of using technologies that have been lost in the passage of time? Could it be possible that they had the access to such a form of knowledge that goes beyond our understanding? It's been believed by several researchers that the ancient men had mastered the art of levitation that allowed them to defy the existence principles of physics, and they had the power to move and manipulate colossal objects so easily. The ruins of Tiwanaku. The ancient ruins of Tiwanaku and the significance of the Sun Gate, located 13,000 feet above sea level. The Sun Gate, also known as La Puerta del Sol, and it is a beautifully carved structure that's made up of heavy stones that approximately weigh over 10 tons. However, it's still a mystery what technique did the ancients apply to cut, transport, and move these heavy stones of blocks of stone. And we have the Egyptian pyramids, levitation in ancient times. The erection of Egyptian pyramids in the present day can be classified as mission impossible, and the stunning construction of these pyramids have baffled even renowned researchers who had the opportunity to witness the pyramids. Even to this day, no one can solve the mystery of its erection, and it confuses scientists how the ancient men managed to erect such wonderful buildings. Traditionally, science suggests that more than 5,000 men worked approximately for 20 years continuously and built these structures with ropes, ramps, and brute force. And then we have another structure, the mysterious origins of the Temple of Jupiter, the Temple of Zeus, located in Baalbek, Lebanon. It also involves ancient engineering where huge blocks of stone were put together to form one of the greatest sites on earth. The basic structure of the temple consists of three of the most gigantic stones that were used by mankind. All the three blocks collectively weighed around 3,000 tons. So the question is, which magical vehicle was used to transport such huge stones from one place to another? The answer could be none. However, somehow the ancient men were able to extract the rock and transport them to a particular place with such detail that even a single sheet of paper could not fit in between them. Herodotus of the Arabs, also known as Abu Hassan Ali al-Masudi, specified the manner in which the ancient Egyptians managed to erect the huge pyramids in the distant past. He was an Arab historian and geographer, and he also happened to be one of the first historians to combine history and scientific geography in large-scale work. He wrote that how the ancient civilization transported huge stones and used them to build the pyramids. According to him, a magic papyrus was placed under each one of the stone blocks, due to which the stones could be transported to other places. and once the magic papyrus was placed on the blocks, the stone was hit by a metal bar, which intrigued the stone to levitate and get carried along the paths that was fenced on both sides by metal posts. The procedure allowed the stone to travel for around 50 meters, after which the process had to be repeated in order to set the stone blocks where they needed to be. Could it be possible for al-Masudi that, like others, he was also amazed by the greatness, concluding that the ancient Egyptians really had the access to extraordinary means that were used to construct the pyramids? Did the concept of levitation really exist in the distant past, and the ancient civilizations such as the Egyptians, Incas, or pre-Incas were aware of the mystery of levitation? Interestingly, what if levitation could be possible in today's time as well? A Swedish doctor, Dr. Jarl, studied at Oxford. During those times, he became friends with a young Tibetan student. A couple of years later, it was 1939, Dr. Jarl made a journey to Egypt for the English Scientific Society, and there he was sent by a messenger of his Tibetan friend. He was seen by a messenger of his Tibetan friend and urgently requested to come to Tibet to treat a High Lama. After Dr. Jarl got there, he followed the messenger and arrived after a long journey by plane and yak caravans at the monastery where the old Lama and his friend, who was now holding a high position, were now living. One day his friend took him to the place in the neighborhood of the monastery and showed him a sloping meadow, which was surrounded in the northwest by high cliffs. In one of the rock walls, at a height of about 250 meters, was a big hole which looked like an entrance to a cave. In front of this hole there was a platform on which the monks were building a rock wall. The only access to this platform was from the top of the cliff, and the monks lowered themselves down with the help of ropes. In the middle of the meadow, about 250 meters from the cliff, was a polished slab of rock with a bowl-like cavity in the center. The bowl had a diameter of 1 meter and a depth of 15 centimeters. A block of stone was maneuvered into this cavity by yak oxen. The block was 1 meter wide and 1.5 meters long. Then 19 musical instruments were set in an arc of 90 degrees at a distance of 63 meters from the stone slab. The radius of 63 meters was measured out accurately, and the musical instruments consisted of 13 drums and 6 trumpets. Behind each instrument was a row of monks. When the stone was in position, the monk behind the small drum gave a signal to start the concert. The small drum had a very sharp sound and could be heard even with the other instruments making a terrible din. All the monks were singing and chanting a prayer, slowly increasing the tempo of this unbelievable noise. During the first 4 minutes, nothing happened. Then, as the speed of the drumming and the noise increased, the big stone block started to rock and sway, and suddenly took off into the air with an increased speed in the direction of the platform in front of the cave hole, 250 meters up. After 3 minutes of ascent, it landed on the platform. Continuously, they brought new blocks to the meadow, and the monks using this method transported 5 to 6 blocks per hour on a parabolic flight track approximately 500 meters long and 250 meters high. From time to time, the stone split, and the monks moved the split stones away. Quite an unbelievable task. Dr. Jarl knew nothing about the hurling of the stones. Tibetan experts like Linever, Spalding, and Hooke had spoken about it, but they had never seen it. So Dr. Jarl was the first foreigner who had the opportunity to see this remarkable spectacle. Because he had the opinion in the beginning that he was the victim of mass psychosis, he made 2 films of the incident, and the films showed exactly the same thing that he had witnessed. It's now possible for items to float due to technological breakthroughs. Lexus hoverboard is one of these examples. In order to keep the Lexus hoverboard in the air, it uses magnetic levitation. Additionally, we can see smoke pouring from the hoverboard because of the liquid nitrogen required to cool down its massive superconducting magnets, which make its existence feasible. It's possible that ancient humans may have utilized similar levitation technology to move enormous chunks of stone without trouble thousands of years ago. So, do you think levitation in ancient time was done? I personally do think that, yes, it was. It has to do with frequency, of course, of the sound. And this is on Infinity Explorers by Antri Srivastava. Please leave your comments and thank you for your support. My Patreon account, the daily posts are 5 videos daily, and they are totally different from what I have on my YouTube channel. Thank you so much for your support and that you find all my content so interesting. You'll find the Patreon account details in the description box below.